Gabrielle, come on, it's time, come on, don't make the audience wait anymore. Okay, I'm kind of nervous. It's okay, you'll be fine. You'll do fine, come on, Gabrielle. Alright. I just want to sit here on the edge of the stage and talk to you a little bit before our performance. So, those of you who've been here before, you will know that our theater is an experimental theater. So what that means is that we do improvisation. Okay, but today we're going to ramp it up. And I don't mean that we've raked the set. What I mean is that we've taken experimentation to a higher level. Okay, it's experimentation to the power of experimentation. In addition to the performance being improvisational, okay, even the directing is going to be improvisation. And you are going to see that process before your very eyes on the stage. So, my name is Gabrielle. I'm the director. And then there's Little Wolf. He's an actor. Hi. And this is John. Good evening. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to treat you to something you've never seen before. And how do I know that you've never seen it before? Because I myself have never seen it before. And how do I know that I myself have never seen it before? Because we've never rehearsed it before. And so when we come up with some kind of direction and acting, you're going to see that, you're going to see what that's like. And so you'll understand the magic of theater. Don't wait for applause. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about the scene. Okay, so the scene is we have a young lady, that's Little Wolf. They're at a restaurant, and then it's John and Little Wolf. Okay, so you're having a conversation, and you're trying to see if you like each other. Okay, so there has to be a dynamic, romantic kind of dynamic. Yes, all right. Yes, okay. Okay, I guess I have to say, action. I'm really grateful that you agreed to come with me to this restaurant. I hope you like the tables that they have. Ah, yes, the tables are all right. Of course, in Manhattan we have better, but what can I expect from a podunk kind of place like you bring me? Okay, cut. Little Wolf. Why did you say that? Why did I say what? The first thing the audience hears is an extremely sarcastic, biting, caustic type of comment about the level of sophistication of your date. I mean, where are you going with this? How is romance going to develop when from the get-go you're really sort of negative like that? All right, Gabrielle, I'm going to do this my own way, all right? But I'm the director. I mean, the people here, they came to see me direct. Yeah, I understand, but I've got my own idea. But I just don't see how it's going to work. You will see. I'm just supposed to trust you? Of course. What do you think? Every single film, I need you to trust me, all right? This is that line in that film. I need you to trust me, all right? But in front of everybody, I mean, we're going to have an argument like this? What argument? You never argue. You just accept. You just take the suggestions and you run with them. That's why we wanted you. That's why we went to the producer. We went to the producer to put you in as director so that I could be an actor, all right? And so that you could do what the most experienced actor here, being me, suggests that you do. Did you not understand that? Well, it wasn't really put to me in so many terms. So I would say that I didn't really consent to that. You didn't consent to that. You didn't leave the office and go with us and say hip hip hooray and like kick your heels, literally jump up in the air and kick your heels together. You're telling me you didn't do that after we came out of the producer's office? I did that under false pretenses. I assumed that, but you're asking me to be the director would mean that I would actually be able to direct. I see. All right. And you're not directing now? Not if you're telling me that I just have to blindly trust you in front of the audience. All right, well, what options have you got, Gabrielle? You want me to walk off? I'll walk off. If I can't do what I feel is right for the scene, I'll just walk right off the stage. You think I won't do that? Well, I would hope you wouldn't do that unless it was part of the improvisation. Okay, well, we'll make it part of the improvisation, all right? Excuse me, is this part of the play? You have to admit it's a little embarrassing to have an argument like this in front of the entire theatrical, theater-going public, including perhaps some theater critics.
But if I'm wrong, okay, and it's part of the play, well, then I have to admit that it's original. Okay, I haven't seen this before, but can you somehow kind of signal to us so that we know that this is kind of part of the play?
Oh, wow, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. So, Little Wolf, you want to make this part of the play, sort of our disagreement here? Or you can make of it whatever you want. If you want to transform my brilliant acting into something that you want to consider part of the scene, as an improvisation, as a way of rescuing this from the garbage heap of total disaster, from that categorization, we can do that. I'm all for that, all right? What I need is a chance to perform the scene in the way that I know is going to be right, all right? And if you want to make that part of what we're doing here and pull the wool over the eyes of the theater goers and the critics, that's on you, all right? If you want to do that, then that's on you. But I need to play the scene the way I need to play it. Are we agreed? Well, I guess. Does that sound like something that you and the audience would understand, Miguel?
Well, I guess it's a little clear now. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like two parallel sort of like timelines. Like there's what you want to do, there's what Little Wolf wants to do. Then if you declare that your intent and his intent can be combined in the sense that he accepts that you have a different intent and you accept that he has a different intent, but you somehow found the compromise that we're actually watching that, then I guess that allows it to take place. But it kind of contradicts Little Wolf's assertion that what he's going to do is to be absolutely natural. So if there's a contrived sort of artificial element to the situation or to the staging of the situation, then that's kind of a contradiction in terms. Would you not agree, Little Wolf?
All right, you want to see it that way? Okay, if you can accept, okay, that the director has one intent, I, as the master actor, okay, has a different intent, and that can be allowed to coexist at the same time while we're doing improv, then I will allow to exist your point of view as a member of the audience who may perceive it in that way. You can classify what's taking place here in any way you prefer. You leave my timeline alone, all right? You want to call it timelines? That's fine. I don't care. All right, well, I'm going to play this scene. Can we get started finally? All right, yeah, so you brought me here, all right? I don't hold that against you, all right? If this is the best place in town and you bring me to the best place in town, then there's something to be said for that. And so I appreciate that.
Do you come here often?
Why are you asking me that question? Why are you asking me if I come here often?
Well, I mean, they always ask that question in movies, like when somebody, sees an attractive woman at the bar, he goes up to her, and he says, do you come here often?
I see. And you think that in a naturalistic kind of theater that we're trying to get at, you're going to say some garbage that you heard in a film? Just because you heard it, a dozen times, you think that's the right thing to say? What is the meaning of that phrase? Do you come here often? What is the meaning of that phrase to you?
Well, I'm inquiring as to whether you frequent this establishment on a frequent basis.
All right, now let's go further. Let's dig deeper. Now, if I say, yes, I come here often, what does that mean? What is the meaning of that phrase? Outside of the semantic denotation of the words themselves, what does that mean in terms of our relationship?
Well, I'm not trying to suggest that you go on a lot of dates, like too many or too few, and I'm not suggesting that you're some sort of flophouse diner floozy who will go with anybody to a not very nice place just because you're desperate for a date. What would you have said in my place?
What would I have said in your place? Well, look, it's not my role. I'm playing I'm the date. I'm the one you asked out. I didn't ask you out. I'm the woman, all right?
You have to walk with Johnny. You have to...
Little Wolf and John, I mean, to be completely honest, people came here for romance. And you're not giving them romance. You're not giving them bromance. You're not giving them even friendship. You're giving them some sort of philosophical, psychological discussion of motivations or something. And that's a theater. That's like a seminar or something.
All right, you want romance? Fine, I'll give you romance. You there, big lug, you're handsome, all right? I'm desperate. And I'm lonely. And you're probably lonely too, all right? And if you ask me out, then that means we're right for each other, all right? And the table is fine, I don't care about the place, all right? So we can go wherever you want. If you got a ring, I'll put it on my finger right now.
But don't we have to, sort of get to know each other a little better? I mean, I don't really know very much about you.
What do you need to know? You can see what I look like. I mean, imagine I'm attractive. Let's try something a little different, okay? Little Wolf, let me show you what this looks like, from the director's chair. I like what you came up with. I like that inspiration you had. And if you would permit me, I'd like to try it on. I'll run with sort of the impetus that you gave it, and I'll see where I go with that. Do you mind? If you understand that what I'm doing is the right way to go, then fine. Yeah, okay, all right. Knock yourself out. All right, and action. I almost fell over.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, yeah. John, I wanted to say thank you for bringing me here. And I wanted to say, I'm very impressed that you were able to understand that my caustic remarks were not necessarily coming from the heart. In fact, they weren't coming from the heart at all. Those remarks that were sarcastic, that's not really the real me. The real me inside lives in love. That's where I really am all the time. And it's really hard because nobody ever lets you say that. Nobody ever lets you show that. Or they impose conditions on showing that if you love, you have to do this and this and this and this. And you end up following a lot of rules. It kind of kills the love that I feel inside, that I could almost show to anybody. I mean, imagine if you were on a deserted island, almost with anybody. Probably there would be some kind of love. I mean, you would accept each other's differences because you'd have to, right? I'm not saying there would be romantic love, but I mean, there would be some sort of attraction and mutual affection. And that could happen in real life too. And we don't have to go away off onto some deserted island to do that. We can create that right now by opening up the heart and not being afraid of making a mistake and doing the wrong thing. It's hard if they punish you for expressing the wrong thoughts. Like if you're not supposed to have this opinion, but you love somebody and they say, if you express that opinion, I can't love you. You have to choose between saying what you really think to try to make the world a better place. Out of love for that person, you want to make the world a better place. You either have to not do that so that they'll be happy, so that they'll feel comfortable, that they won't be embarrassed about you, with their family or friends. Okay, so do you make the world a better place for the person you love? Or do you forget about the world and do what that person thinks that they want or is afraid to say they don't want? Do you see the situation that we're always in? All right, Gabrielle? Yes. All right, and you, Miguel. All right, you accused me of turning this performance, all right, into some sort of philosophical, psychological discussion. You said something along those lines. Is that right? All right. And, okay, what do you think about what Gabrielle's been saying now? Is that not the same kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I can see how somebody might interpret it that way, or see it that way, or perceive it that way. But to me, that was a cri de coeur, a sincere expression of the problem that people face in a world where sort of love has been forbidden. I think those were really important things that he had to say. I hope I speak for the audience, but even if I don't, that's what I think. So thank you very much, Gabriel.
And thank you, little wolf. I wouldn't have been able to get at those feelings if I hadn't heard your point of view, sort of a slightly different point of view. I'm not saying opposite, but that really helped me to sort of solidify in my mind what kinds of ideas I thought it would be good to get across in this sort of scene, in this scene that we were trying to do. Sorry I didn't let you talk very much, John. All right, well, audience, are you all right with this? Was this of interest to you? You're gonna go back and tell your friends and relatives that it's total garbage, or what are you gonna think? Silence. You don't know what to think, and I don't know what to think. Well, are we out of time yet? Well, okay, intermission. All right, intermission. Pretend like a curtain comes down. You don't have the budget for a curtain. Imagine it comes down. See you in 20 minutes.